Hey, I'm Dante,
And hey, I'm Dana.
and welcome to the Donta Show.
Let me touch you, can make it better. I'ma make it bad for it, bad for it. When I tease you, you ain't gonna wanna stop. I'ma make you bad for it, bad for it. I know you want my body and I'll make you bad for it.
What up, Village? Happy Monday, happy March 8th, 2021. Welcome to another episode of the Donta Show with your boy Dante Morrison, accompanied by no other than the great. Who are you, bruh?
Hey, I am the one and only Dana. Dang, what it do? What it do? What it do? Hey, what's happening, ladies? Let's go.
What up, Dana? It's another week, man. Let's make this happen. Yo, tonight's show is going to be bananas. Everybody has been talking about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that kind of stuff. And I know tonight is going to be full of education. We brought up this subject about, I would say, 3 weeks ago, and I kind of tiptoed into it, but I had to run back out of it because I'm not an expert. I don't know about it. But the village was all like, we want to learn more about cryptocurrency. We want to know more about Bitcoin. How can we be rich? What do we got to do? How can we jump on this whole Elon Musk train? So tonight we got a special guest who's going to navigate us through this situation. All right. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to all the women, because
All the ladies.
today is International Women's Day. So shout out to all the ladies, because today is a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. And you got to think about it. We have a female vice president. So if that's not something that is significant and should be recognized, I don't know what else is. But we have a lot of women who've achieved great things. We want to give them a shout out on today, celebrate them, give them their flowers while they are yet alive, and let them know without the queens, the kings will be very lonely. So women, today, International Women's Day, we appreciate you. We applaud you. You know, hey there on YouTube. Thank y'all for watching this on YouTube. Please make sure to subscribe to the Donta Show on YouTube. Make sure to do that. But like we always say, the Donta Show is about Black people, Black power, Black pride, Black excellence. And we don't just look at February as Black History Month, because we are Black 24/7. And with that being said, I'm going to let Dana do something right now.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Today we're going to shout out none other than Jane Boylan. Let's go. Black History Month. All right. Jane Boylan, born in 1908, a pioneer in law. Jane Boylan was the first Black woman to attend Yale School in 1931. In 1939, she became the first Black female judge in the United States, where she served for 10 years. One of her significant contributions throughout her career was working with private employers to hire people based on their skills, as opposed to discriminating against them because of their race. She also served on the boards of the NAACP, Child Welfare League of America, and the Neighborhood Children's Center. Let's give it up one more time for our Black Queen, Jane Boylan. Let's go.
Hey, Black History Year. We are Black 24/7 here at the Donta Show.
Yes.
Hey, we love it. We love it. We love it. Hey, but before we get into today's subject of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff, we'd be remiss without taking some time out to get that infamous Dana drop. So
There it is.
Y'all know what time it is right now. What? It's time for the
Dana drop.
boom.
Boom. Let's go. What it do, good people? What it do? What it do? I hope everybody's in good spirits and good health during this time. We pray that you are having a good day thus far. Excuse me. Please, like Dante stated at the beginning of the show, please go and subscribe to our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/Dante Morrison. Click that subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell a cousin, tell somebody, hey, go check these guys out, because you know what? They over here doing their thing and we trying to take it to the next level. You feel me? All right. Today, we're going to talk about being kind to yourself and being kind to others. It's nice to be nice. That's the obvious. Let's start with that. It's obvious. We should be kind to others because it's nice to be nice. That's a simple enough reason to be kind to someone. Carry a bag. Open the door for someone. If you're standing in line at the grocery store and you got 50 things and the person behind you has one thing or two things, let them go in front of you. It's nice to be nice. That's the obvious thing. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. If you want somebody to be nice to you, be nice to them. I guarantee you, it'll come back on you. It feels good. Many people are in pain. I'll say that again. Many people are in pain, especially what's going on now. They may not be in pain physically, but they may be in pain mentally. They may have a lot on their mind. They may have a lot of things that they're going through with their family, with their job. You never know. Many people may be in pain. Just think of that. Think it could be one of your family members. It could be you. It could be you going through something. All right. Kindness feels good. We feel better when we are kind to others, and we feel good when we receive kindness. So just imagine you going through something and you're sitting there and you're looking really sad and down, or what have you, whatever the case may be. And someone gives you a kind gesture or a kind word. It'll brighten your day. It'll make you feel good. It'll make you feel like, hey, I do matter. I do matter. And this person just made me feel good today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spread love and spread kindness. There's so much pain in the world. Kindness is an easy way of spreading healing. Kindness spreads healing. It's contagious, just like rumors are contagious, just like gossip is contagious, just like everything else is contagious. Kindness is contagious. Spread it all around. Kindness connects people through all over the world. Kindness connects people, especially now with the internet and the multimedia and all of these things that we have. Kindness connects people. It spreads love and all over the world. You can send out a kind email. You can put up a kind tweet. You can, with Instagram and all of these things that we have now with social media, you can be kind to somebody who you've never met before by just putting up a quote or something on your page that just may shine a light on somebody's life. And they may read your quote or your little poem or whatever it is that you've written, and it may change their entire life. That person may be getting ready to commit suicide or go commit a crime, but then they'll log on and see what you wrote or something like that, and it'll boost their morale and allow them not to do that negative thing or have that negative energy of that what they're going to do. And it also boosts productivity. When it comes to being productive, kindness is a secret weapon. When it comes to being productive, kindness is a secret weapon. It boosts productivity in others. You'll get better results by treating people with kindness. People who are treated with kindness are more likely to care about doing good deeds and work than anything else. They'll work harder. They'll be a better friend. Things like that. You have to think about these things. If I be kind to this person, you never know when you may have to turn around and cross that bridge again. And then that person is the boss or the person that has to hire you or has to interview you. And then they'll go all the way back to be like, you know what? I was a temp at this particular facility or job, and that person was nice to me when everybody else was mean to me. So you never know. You never know. You never want to burn bridges because you never know when you're going to have to go back over those bridges and cross them. Okay. So it's nice to be nice, be kind, spread love, spread happiness. And I guarantee you, it'll make the world, your community, a better place to live in. All right. That's the Dana Drop, and I'm out. Peace.
Good job, as always. You're such a motivational Marlin. Think of another name.
Motivational Marty.
Yeah, you're such a motivator. I appreciate that. Hey, so listen, so Dana, do you know anything about, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff?
You know what, man? At first, when I heard about it years ago, and I actually got into it years ago, and before it was like really hot right now, one of my buddies, my producing buddies, was telling me about it, and I got into it, and I didn't really do anything with it because I don't have the patience to understand all of that stuff. Thank you, Joy. I don't have the patience for that. I write songs and do music. I mean, the money, it'll come in or what have you. But so I don't know much about it. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to get more information. I'm currently in it now, and I believe that I'm making the right moves from, the information that I'm getting and being provided. So, let's go.
Yeah, let's see. So listen, y'all asked for it. Well, we all asked for it. So I'm gonna give you some time. Invite your friends, your family, your cousins, your loved ones. Get them up in here. Let's learn about this, because one thing I have realized is when it comes to financial opportunities, oftentimes people of color are on the tail end, are the last ones to really grab it. Right. And by the time we jump on the bandwagon, so much stuff has shifted that we missed the early phases where we could have honestly just invested and really made a huge return. If that makes sense. And I want us to begin to be on the forefront of things. So I'm trying to catch stuff as early as possible and bring it to the show so we can learn sooner than later. All right. But tonight, we have Malik Corbett, who's going to come on, and Malik is going to give us his background, his expertise, what he does. And you can ask your questions in the thread. I'm going to try to get the questions on here so he can see them. And we're going to just make it do what it do. You know how the village is. We are a community. We come together. We learn from each other. We grow. And like Tavess Lee just said, now is the time. Now is the time. And I know that when it comes to money, and when it comes to digging into our bag, we get a little reserved because we don't want to get hustled. We don't want to get scammed. We don't want none of that. But listen, knowledge is power. So tonight we're going to learn. All right. So without further ado, welcome to the Donta Show for the very first time, but it won't be the last time. The man, the myth, the legend, Malik Corbett.
Hey.
There he is. You bopping with
what's up, guys? I'm feeling it. What's up, fellas?
Malik, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yes,
so listen, we are just, in the car. You are driving it. Hey, you pull up, we'll get the gas, we'll get the snacks out the store, but you are driving tonight's vehicle because both myself and Dana, we're not a bad word, but we're ignorant to all of this. So I'm here to learn. The village is here to learn. So we hand it over to you. Wherever you want to start, just go.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And a lot of the stuff that you were saying earlier, on the show is absolutely correct. There's a lot of scams out here, and I think it's really important, especially for, as you said, for our community to really understand what cryptocurrency is, what blockchain is, and all this stuff is, because it is a highly technical thing. But I'm going to do my best to make it simple and so that people understand what it is from a high level, and just keep it basic, because there is opportunity there.
Yes,
Take notes, y'all. Get your pad, get your pen. Take notes. Don't just sit back and eat your onions. Take some notes. Here we go. Go ahead, Malik.
Yeah. So let's again, let's make it conversational. So please interject and we'll start from the basics, like what is a blockchain and what is cryptocurrency and all that stuff like that. So we'll start there, but please, by all means, ask questions and let me know where you're any confusion or something like that. So first and foremost, let's take a step back. There is a lot of cryptocurrencies, right? But probably the one that, there's thousands of them, right? But the one that that everyone's heard of and is considered the king of all cryptocurrencies is Bitcoin. And so let's start there. And so let's start with one. Everybody call it the blockchain, and like, what is the blockchain, right? What is that? So basically, what cryptocurrency or what a blockchain is, it's a database, right? It's a cryptographic database that basically it's a ledger. It keeps track of any transactions that happen on a network. So, because that's really what Bitcoin is. It's a network, just like Facebook is a network, or just like Instagram or Twitter. Those are networks, right? Those are digital networks, right? Instead of passing back and forth money, they're passing back and forth messages and pictures and stuff like that, right? And in the same way, within the Bitcoin network, right, people are passing back and forth Bitcoin, right? So if I want to send Bitcoin to you, Dante, I'll send it to you. What's keeping track of what the Bitcoin that I sent you to Bitcoin is the blockchain, that database, right? And that database can't be tampered with. And that's one of the beauties of it, right? It cannot be tampered with. And if it is, it's easily identified that it's been tampered with. And what's really the other thing that's really cool, right, about a blockchain is that there's a word I'm going to use, right, called decentralized. So let's take a step back, right? So we talked about what the blockchain is. It's a ledger, right? Keeps track of a token, right? No matter what that token is, it can be Bitcoin, it can be whatever. But in this case, we're talking Bitcoin, right? So it's keeping track of that Bitcoin. The other thing that makes a blockchain powerful is something called decentralization. So what that means is, and let me give you an example of that, of what centralization is, and then decentralization will make sense. So centralization is, again, let's use Facebook, right? Or just use your bank. It's probably even better, right? Your bank, when you log into it, let's say Chase is your bank, right? Or Bank of America or Wells Fargo, whoever, right? When you log into your application, or log into your account, Chase or Wells Fargo, whoever, is keeping track of how much money you got. The ledger. They're the only ones that are responsible for seeing how much money you have in your debit and your credit, right? And that's the ledger, right? That's what they're keeping. But it's only one entity that's keeping that. Now, there's risk to that, right? The government can come and seize your money. Like if you owe money to the government, they'll come and seize it, things of that nature, right? If someone breaks into, and that happens all the time, it's not uncommon, actually. Very common, right? So a hacker breaks in, or a group of hackers break into a database. They just broke into the government database a couple of months ago. So it's not hard, right? It's hard, but I'm saying it's possible, very possible, right? To break into these databases. And it just happened, like I said, a few months ago to the government, right? To the United States government by the Russians, right? So you have that. But in a decentralized world, right? It's not just Chase managing the ledger. It is a bunch of entities that are managing the ledger. So one entity doesn't have control over your money, of what it can, that you can send it this way or send it there, or freeze your account. They can't do it because, well, they can, but it's under certain conditions. There needs to be over what's called a 51% of if they own 51% of that network, then they can do it. But that's very unlikely with something like Bitcoin, that it's really large, right? It costs a lot of money to be able to do something like that. So in a nutshell, the things you need to take away from what is a blockchain, when people say it, it's not necessarily one thing. It's try to think of it, it's like layers, right? The first layer is a database, a ledger, right? A database, it's a special ledger that you can't just change the properties within a database, right? I can't change your name, I can't change things in there. So that's one part of it. Then the second part of it, right, is that it's decentralized, meaning it's not just one entity that controls these ledgers, right, which is the truth, right, of what happens, right? Because if somebody changes it, then it's no longer the truth, right? Or at least it's my truth. So
Right.
the whole point of it is that you have many different entities that are securing that ledger, making sure that it is what it say it is. So that's what a blockchain is in a nutshell, right? That's what it is. It's a network that is secured by this special database. That makes sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Explain that
Yeah.
good? That wasn't like overly technical? Okay, cool. It's like my wife was like, yo, dude, you're getting like too technical. You need to calm down. So I want to make sure. So any questions so far? I said a lot.
So far, so good. But
Yeah.
so you did say that there was a bunch of, okay, so you broke it down with the blockchain. So you started
Yes.
out just like, high level, master's degree type stuff, So here's me and Dana in the 4th grade.
Okay, yeah. But you got what a blockchain is, right?
Right.
You got that.
Okay, cool. Okay.
And then you said there are a lot of different forms of cryptocurrency. So
Right.
why are we focusing so much on Bitcoin? Like, why is that
Okay. Great question. That's a really great question. Okay, so now that we understand what a blockchain is, or let's use what's called a crypto network, because that's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is a crypto network. So, and it's the first of them, right? It is the first crypto network, or the first digital currency. So every token is different, okay, and they have different purposes, okay. So what I mean by that is when you think about Bitcoin, what the purpose of Bitcoin, why it was created, was to be an alternative to sovereign or fiat currency, the dollar, right? And that it's its whole point. It's not to do anything else but to be a hedge to the U.S. dollar, right, or any government currency, and that is its sole purpose. It doesn't do anything else. Now there are other types of digital assets, okay, or cryptocurrencies, right? They're all synonymous: digital assets, cryptocurrencies, right? Things of that nature. So when you hear people say that, they're really basically talking about the same thing. So they say digital
Right.
currency or cryptocurrency or whatever, right?
Hold on, Malik. So let me catch everybody up. Because we are novices. When I say novices, so when we hear the word cryptocurrency, that is the same thing as saying digital asset. So digital asset, cryptocurrency, those are interchangeable.
Those are interchangeable.
A Bitcoin or any kind of cryptocurrency was created to replace?
Okay, so okay, good question. So I want to make sure we get back. So each cryptocurrency has its own purpose.
Oh.
Bitcoin's purpose is to be the alternative to the US dollar or any government currency, or what they call fiat currency, right?
Right.
So that's what Bitcoin's supposed to do.
Okay.
But then you probably guys have heard of another big one called Ethereum.
I heard of it.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Ethereum?
Mhm.
That's the purpose of Ethereum is totally different than Bitcoin. So let's rewind a little bit, okay? As I said before, Bitcoin the purpose is just to be to be digital gold. That's what they call it, right? It's to be gold. It's supposed to store your wealth, store value, right? So when some people believe that when the dollar is going to hyperinflate, right? Like, it meaning because we've been spending a lot of money, we got COVID and all these different things, so we're spending more and more. And tomorrow or Tuesday, the government is expected to pass another $1.9 trillion in government aid, right? So the danger there, from a lot of people believe, is that it's going to hyperinflate the dollar, where people will lose a significant amount of their wealth. So one of the things that investors do is traditionally they buy gold. okay, to what they call hedge, protect
Right.
the against the devaluing of the dollar.
Mhm.
So Bitcoin is internet money, and it's considered to be digital gold to protect against these potential adverse effects on the dollar in the future that potentially could come because of what's happening today. So that's the purpose of Bitcoin.
So when we look at it like right now, Elon Musk bought a gazillion dollars worth of Bitcoin. And based upon what you just said about how, the dollar is losing its weight, because of all the stuff that's happening, the global pandemic and everything's going on, Bitcoin is a safe way to protect your money.
That's what a lot of people believe. So again, I'm not a financial advisor, right? So there are, I spent a lot of time not to go to jail, from where I grew up. So I'm not trying to go to jail and get white collar crime. At least if I'm going to go to jail, I want to have some street cred. I should have shot somebody back in the projects or something. But
right.
So I'll be very careful. I'm not giving financial advice.
I got it.
But yes, that is every currency, every fiat currency loses its value, right? That's just what happens. So people are always looking to protect their value. And if you really look at over time, if you look at the dollar, it's like if you held a dollar like 10 years ago, it doesn't have the same value or the buying power as it has today, right? Because things get more expensive, right? Like inflation. So those are the things that people are trying to protect. So that is what Bitcoin purpose is. That's the purpose of Bitcoin. Okay. But then, as I said before, you have other currencies. Let's just stick with like Ethereum. Ethereum, its purpose is they call it what's called a smart contract blockchain or platform, right? Which simply means that it's designed to like put other applications like real world applications on it, like meaning like a Twitter. You can put like eventually one day you'll put a Twitter on it could be put on Ethereum or some type of blockchain. A video game. There's a lot of what they call decentralized application, which is decentralized, DeFi, decentralized finance. There's NFTs, which we should probably talk about. You guys, I think I said, Dana, you're a musician, right?
Yeah.
NFTs, which is non-fungible tokens, right? Those are really hot right now, and people are talking about that. And a lot of musicians and artists are really into that too. So there's a plethora of different types of cryptocurrencies that are going to be flooding the world, and that's why everybody should know about this, because this is the future. There's no, in my opinion, there's no denying that this is the wave, and this is coming, and people should educate themselves on this. That makes sense.
Real quick.
Sure.
I usually come sideways, but hypothetically speaking, because you mentioned something, and I don't know if that was the right word you used, or maybe it was just because you said it was internet money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're saying, so that was correct.
Yeah, people call it, internet money.
All right, internet money. now we just said before, I believe we got on the air, or before on the air, you said, something happened where a financial institution was tapped in.
Okay, yeah, that happened before, yeah.
Okay. That happens with the internet. Someone takes over the internet, and because anything can happen nowadays.
Sure.
Someone takes over the internet goes down. What do you see? How is that protected?
Well, that's a very complicated subject, and honestly, but there are, I don't want to get too technical,
right? But
there are different types of internets. There's different zones, right? Like China is building their own internet, and this is why cryptocurrency is really important. So let me explain. It's not hard for me to envision a world where China has and its partners have their own internet, which only their people see, The United States has its own internet, which we see, and it happens today. Like you don't see what goes on in Europe, right? You don't get feeds from Europe. And also, if you think about it, Google has an algorithm that's tracking all your searches, so it doesn't even give you what you should see in the United States. So, you know,
Right.
you got to think about that too. And people, I can envision a world where Europe, they're already doing that now. Europe has their own internet and they have their own rules set. So that's, you know, that is that can happen. That's where the beauty of the blockchain comes in, is because it could sit in the middle of all these different zones, right? These geo fenced internet zones, right? Because if you think about it, right now, India has their own internet, right? That you know, you have to have permission to get into it and stuff, right? So that's happening like right now. And so if people want to send money from one zone to another, crypto is going to be, in my view, it's going to stand in the middle of that, and it's going to be very valuable.
So basically, in a nutshell, do you think that there'll be a system created to work without the internet? So where if the internet just so happens to go down, or if there's no internet, or just anything, because you said something in the center. I mean,
the
just
internet.
anything.
I don't think the internet's going to go down short of nuclear, war or something like that. And even then, it might.
I mean, but just anything
really
possible.
complicated.
Anything. Yeah. I mean, we didn't think
the likelihood. Yeah, true.
We didn't think we would ever be fearing a disease that we can't see, although they talked about it, and they've also talked about the internet going down before 2000 and 2000. It didn't happen, but it is possible.
But I think that for me, just on the other side, I think the odds of the internet going down as a whole is virtually impossible. Now I can see Time Warner shutting down or Spectrum shutting down.
Well, I don't think it's virtually. I don't think it's virtually. Yeah, I don't think it's
Pootie's hookup.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's virtually impossible, but I think that like the chances of it happening is just is there. But I mean, it's listen. There's chances of a nuclear war happening. So like we're scared.
I just look at it. I just look at it from both sides. Like, is there going to be like a central database or something that you don't even necessarily have to use the internet?
But the beauty of this, though, if the internet does go down, at least your money is secured, right, through the blockchain, right? Like if the internet goes down, you don't know what's going to happen to the bank,
right?
So there's also another use case right there. You just gave another use case for Bitcoin because you own that account. You know what I'm saying? Like
gotcha.
It's not like Chase. Ultimately, when you whoever, Bank of America, when you log in it, they ultimately own that account.
That
right? They can lock you out, right? They can lock. It's their database, right? Exactly. So when you're talking about, something like Bitcoin, like the beauty of it is that you own the account. Now it comes risk with that, right? You own those keys. You lose those keys. It ain't like going to Chase and say, "Hey, I lost my password. Can you reset it?" You've lost. People have lost millions of dollars now, billions of dollars now on Bitcoin. So that happens. So I mean, those are the cost to be the boss, as they say.
Right. Gotcha.
So when it comes to the basic level of just getting it started, I now know everybody that if you all have Cash App, if you go on Cash App, you can see that you can buy Bitcoin on Cash App. And it's in a lot of people's faces, but because they're not familiar with the language or whatever, they kind of scroll past it. I also know there are some vendors. You guys all know my friend Greg that owns Get Off the Block. He's been on the show a couple of times. He sells the tennis shoes, Black-owned business, and he is now accepting cryptocurrency as a form of payment. And it's my understanding that a lot of vendors are going to start taking Bitcoin or some form of cryptocurrency as a form of payment. So this is not some fly-by-night situation. This is a movement that we're kind of watching happen, and I want to make sure that we're all on the pulse or in the know of how we can become Bitcoin owners. So my question, Malik, is what is a good amount of Bitcoin to purchase to say you got Bitcoin that's worth something? Because I can put $10 on some Bitcoin, but $10 gonna mean anything.
So that's all like a personal choice, right? It all depends on a lot of factors: how old you are, how much money you have, all those things are going on, that stuff. However, what I will say is that I do believe that it is a wise decision if you would, investigate it, and if you own just a little bit of it, right? I wouldn't, as I said from the beginning, right? I don't think this is going to happen to Bitcoin anytime soon. But as I said in the beginning, there are thousands of these digital assets, and 99% of them are going to fail, right? They're going to fail. There's no question about it. So, the Bitcoin, Ethereum, those are the big ones. Those are the ones that say, hey, take, if you're going to invest in digital assets, those are the ones I would start with. Educate yourself, because it is a little technical, not a little, it's technical. And remember, just like when there was you guys, are sitting around my age, you're a little older, sitting around my age, there was something called the internet bubble, right? In the early 2000s, right? And that's where there was like weird companies called pets.com and all these weird like internet companies that raised cajillions of dollars, and they just flat out failed, right? The stock market went up and then just crashed in 2000. But what we got out of it though was, we got the PayPals of the world, right? You got the Amazons of the world, right? So you're gonna have a very similar pattern with these cryptocurrencies. So I do caution, as much as I tell, I believe our people should definitely get involved with this, because this is the wave, right? There's no, again, in my opinion, right? This is a foregone conclusion. It's just going to be here. Even though it's not necessarily like blockchain or cryptocurrency, even if you look at a Cash App, that's a digital asset, right? You think about those things, right? Those are digital assets. So this is the wave of the future. Think about what we just came out, or what we're coming out of in terms of the pandemic, right? People are using less cash, right? People are ordering, people are using more digital tools in order to make purchases, right? So it's kind of going that way. And if you look at other countries, they're already looking to do that. The United States government, the Fed, right? They're looking into creating a digital dollar where they can, directly pay people through that, right? So there's all kinds of things that are happening. And blockchain, again, it's not just, it has a purpose. There's certain things, it's going to be ubiquitous, right? Meaning it's going to, like I said, we talked about NFTs, right? Artists are really into that, right? And that's becoming huge now. You have decentralized finance. That's being undergirded by the blockchain, right? You have that. And again, blockchain doesn't have to have a cryptocurrency. That's another thing to be understanding, right? So that's why I say, be cautious. I say Bitcoin and Ethereum, those are the safest bets to go if there's anything called safe in crypto. But that's the safest bet. Venturing off beyond that, I think that you really would need to really understand what you're looking at, what you're doing.
So we got a few questions in the audience, and I want to make sure we get those. People are asking, once you buy, is Bitcoin like buying stocks? Does it go up in value and all that kind of stuff? Like if it's $5 today, will it be $10 tomorrow?
Okay.
And will it plummet? If it's $10 tomorrow, will it be $2 on Friday? So what are the pros and cons of this, if any?
Okay, there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons. I absolutely. So to tackle to your first question, so yes, it's very volatile. Right? It is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Before, I think it was when did it start to run? November 2020. Before November of 2020, okay, Bitcoin was in the toilet, in the shitter, right? It was not doing that great. Honestly, it was not. Before November 2020, crypto was in what they call a crypto depression, right? Nobody wanted to talk about all that, right? There was a bunch of crypto hedge funds that blew up. They went out of business for 3 years. because remember in 20, well, you probably don't remember, in 2017 when Bitcoin really like shot out there and people started hearing about it, it went from $1,000 and around the beginning of the year, it was like $1,000, and it hit its peak at 20,000 at the end of the year.
Okay.
Right. It went from $1,000 to $20,000. That's a lot of money. People got rich, right? And then everybody, like, you know, what happens? People start piling in. They're like at the end, and then people got hurt really bad. It went from 20,000 all the way to, within the 3 years that it was meandering into the 6 and 8. It was going from $6,000 to $8,000 for the whole 3 years. So it was not a fun ride for people who bought at the end, especially, right? Who bought at 20,000. So it is very volatile. And then what happened? It went like this, something called, it was called the when the stock market went crazy, went crash, and last year they call it the Black Thursday. When Black Thursday happened, Bitcoin went from, I think, from $8,000 all the way to 3,000. Like, people almost had a heart attack that day. I almost had a heart attack. I thought, we said, "Oh my God, this is it," right? So it is very volatile. However, what everybody else talks about, oh, it went from 8,000 and then hit the 20, and now we're at 50. I think it was at 53 before we got on, and everybody's all yay, but they forgot about those 3 years. Everybody was talking about it, right? So I mean, you have to be in this, unless you are, somebody, I'm not, trying to act like a elitist, but if somebody who's trained and skilled at like navigating these very dangerous like financial products, like it's really for you to buy, put it away, go to sleep. And come back to it when it hits 100,000, right?
Okay.
So the cool thing about Bitcoin, right? You can buy it, and you don't, even though it's worth right now 53,000 a token, you can buy like fractions of it. They call Satoshis.
I'm glad you started breaking that down.
Right. Yeah, I'm like 53,000. What the hell?
Yeah, it's 50. So
like, I knew that you're buying pieces of a coin, correct?
You could buy pieces of a coin.
I think all people are hearing is invest in Bitcoin. It's $50-something thousand. So for me, I'm like, okay, next, so please, before everybody instantly logs off the show.
They log off like, who is this guy? Why do you bring this dude on here?
So just please break down when people are, if you go on Cash App or decide to buy Bitcoin, you're actually buying into a coin, correct? Or something like that? So there's a number of places. You don't have to necessarily go to Cash App. Right, that's just my one example.
That's just one example. Yeah. Right, there's Cash App, but then there's also there's other entities like Coinbase is one. There's another exchange called Kraken is another one. Kraken. So those are other entities that people should look into as well. And so what they do, they're again centralized. They're centralized. They're like a gateway to help people buy crypto, and they make it easy for people to buy crypto. So they're kind of like a bank, right, in a lot of ways, right? They're what's called a wallet, right? And basically what they do is they hold your cryptocurrency. They hold it for you, because it is and I don't want to get too much into it. It is technical to kind of secure it and stuff like that. It's not like, it's not as easy to do that. And they're building products so that it's more user friendly. But to handle it, they'll do all that for you. They'll hold it for you. They'll hold your account and stuff like that, and you can move your cryptocurrency back and forth to your bank. So, is
it a cost for them to hold it for you?
No, it's not gonna cost them anything to hold it for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you mean for you? Is it a cost for you as a user?
Yeah,
do
you have to pay? Is it a charge to have a wallet?
No. That's the beauty. They hold it for you. Then you can trade it. You can buy more and stuff like that. And it's pretty seamless for the end user. So it's like if you would log into your regular bank. It's that kind of setup. It's not
Got
like
you.
anything foreign or anything to be scared of. It is a simple interface like you would log into your bank. So Kraken is another one.
I can buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin.
Yep.
And then put it into a wallet, or something like that. And then does that $1,000 worth of Bitcoin I bought that grows as the Bitcoin grows? Or
absolutely.
Okay, so that grows.
Oh no, absolutely, yeah. So if you buy now, right? So it's at 53, right? And you buy it now, right? And it goes to 100. It's going to increase, right? It's definitely you're gonna see a significant. Now at the same time, you can see the value of that go down because of the volatility. But again, that's why I said this. Unless you should just someone who is not skilled at this, if they want to invest, buy it, put it away, come back to it and later, right? And look at if you start looking at it, oh my God, it went up, it went up a lot. And then you're gonna be like Pookie, you're gonna be on, crack, you're gonna go crazy. You don't want that. Be chill. Let your money grow.
So for those of us who are world travelers who love to hop on a plane and go to other countries, if we have Bitcoin and we go to another country, and we want to, and they're taking Bitcoin, we don't have to do any kind of monetary exchanges, right?
No, you can just if they have the you can just get their address and send it right to them.
So they're making credit cards now,
Bitcoin,
right?
I mean, Bitcoin is universal. So like the dollar, we got to transfer to the euro or whatever, but Bitcoin is just Bitcoin globally.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then now this is where I'm getting a little confused because Bitcoin is like stock or not like stock.
Oh, okay. So no, it's not like stock. So the federal government already made a decision about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they said it's considered a digital commodity. So those are commodities. And so there's something called the Howey test. I'm not going to get too much into it, but in finance terms, it's called the Howey test. And basically that's a test to determine if something is a stock or not. And they already determined that Bitcoin is not a stock. It's considered a commodity. And as well as Ethereum. Now, other cryptocurrencies are considered securities, or what you're saying, stocks, right? Are considered a security. Like I'm not going to get too much into it, but there are a lot of them. The government are considering them security. So those, like I said, that's why you have to be very careful because those can be not worth anything. For example, XRP. They were XRP is a type of cryptocurrency, and their purpose was to be like a Western Union for blockchain. Think about it like that. And the government came down on them and said, "Oh no, you are a security." And then their tokens, the value of it just plummeted. And so if you would have been holding that, you would have you feel real bad.
now, Malik, when it comes to Bitcoin, and I'm just asking these questions because
Sure, please.
I ain't the richest brother on the block. I can't just be throwing money out there, But you said the government has now called it a commodity, and the government is not part of it. Do you think the government will try to find a way to get their hands and attach to this? The same way they started legalizing marijuana. Let's legalize prostitution. Anything that's going to make some money for the government. If Bitcoin is the next best thing, do you foresee governments, not even American government, but governments trying to find some kind of way to jump in this, to get their hands in it, to tax it, to do all kind of stuff? How is this
absolutely
safe from government control?
Absolutely. So it's still murky. There still isn't any direct, clear cut about the direction of what the government is going to do. They're going to have to deal with this, though. It's obvious. The first step, a lot of the governments around the world has formed commissions in order to figure out how to implement digital assets into the economy. So that's already happening. The United States is already thinking about, as I said before, looking into creating a digital dollar. So you have that. China is light years ahead of any country in terms of digital currency.
Not surprising.
They have built something that's called the Digital Silk Road, and basically it is a project at the end of the day, in my opinion, to usurp the dollar, right, or to bring the yuan into which is their currency into more prominence, prominent role throughout the world. Right now, the United States, I think the U.S. dollar. 80% of all trades are done in U.S. dollars. So that gives the United States a hell of a lot of leverage. As a country, it gives us a hell of a lot of leverage in terms of power and in terms of exerting our force on the world. So they want to interrupt that. So they're building obviously a technology so that makes it easier for people to transfer money and to do things and communicate. And so that's part of them building some type of digital currencies into their thing. So to answer your question, absolutely. How they're going to do it, it's not quite certain. Can they do it all the way? It's not quite certain because that's the whole point of having a decentralized network.
Okay.
And by them not getting involved yet, do you think they're waiting until it like hits really, really big and then try to come in and put a feather in their hat and say, hey, we want some of this now?
Well, I think that they already have gotten involved already. If you kind of see, I think governments are really still trying to figure out how to wrap their arms around this thing, right? There's a lot of implications for this in terms of world order and things of that nature. So this is like a very delicate thing, right? So it's going to take some time for them to figure it out, but it's happening because the technology is moving so rapidly, right? And so this is definitely, the government's already doing that. They're already trying to figure it out. They're already trying to figure out ways to regulate it and keep track of it.
Ways to tax it. That's
so now, since you're saying, the government, they, of course, they're lurking. They're probably watching this show right now. But where did cryptocurrency, where did it originate? Because I'm sure someone is getting something from this idea, or this strategy. Like, what's the core base of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin? So, you can start with that.
So Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin. That's what it started from. We don't know. It could be a person or a group of people called Satoshi Nakamoto, and we don't know. So he put, or she or whoever group or whatever put Bitcoin out. I believe it's 2013 after the stock market crashed. And so that's one of the beauties of Bitcoin. Most people thought they wasn't going to survive it. It was because a lot of things, like, it was like, what is this funny money? Like a lot of people,
right.
Really up until recently, like, what's this funny money, this internet money? Like, what is this crap, right? Like, so, I mean, even a lot of the so-called smart people who were like, who everybody looked up to, were calling it things like rat poison, or they were saying it's a scam, with this crap. And those very same people are now looking to make a mint off of Bitcoin. So it's kind of funny to see. But to answer your question, we don't know who created it necessarily. So it's just it kind of just came about in 2013. That's the cool thing about it too.
All right, bet. So just for clarity, so we're all on the same page, everybody. So this is a conversation about cryptocurrency or digital assets. The premise of our conversation has been about Bitcoin. Now, like Malik broke down, there's a lot of different kind of cryptocurrencies out there. We didn't tap into those conversations, but we did talk about Bitcoin. If you want to buy into Bitcoin, because to buy a whole Bitcoin, to have your own and hold it against your breast, is about between $50,000 to have your own personal Bitcoin. But for the common individual like us watching this show, we would invest we would get pieces of, right, Malik? We would get pieces of that pie. that whole pie. We'll get a scoop of the cobbler, scoop of something. We're not going to own the whole Bitcoin unless you got 50K to just drop on your own coin. But we would all be investors in this Bitcoin that is out there. Right now, Malik said that it is on a forward movement. It's on an upward incline. And now is the best time to get into it because we're also coming out of a pandemic, so we got to realize that there's going to be a lot of financial changes as the economy starts to reset, reboot, and re-energize. And we want to get in on this right now. I appreciate how you said it started 3 years ago. And when it started, it was, how it went through that up and down wave of influx and we trust it. We don't trust it. I made money. Now I'm broke again. But now we're kind of seeing some forward strength in this. People also on the thread talked about, I think it's Dogecoin.
Dogecoin.
Like
Dogecoin.
Yeah. Have you heard of that?
Yes. I mean, that's a coin that, started out as a joke. Honestly, that's how it started out. It was a joke, and because Elon Musk kind of talked about it and it went on a tear. My honest opinion is that it's not like Bitcoin. I personally wouldn't I wouldn't deal with it because it doesn't really do anything. So that's my personal opinion. As I said, there are going to be a lot of tokens that are going to die. That's just what it is, right? Like, and again, I'm not speaking negative about this. Is just like this is with any business. The same thing if you look at the cannabis business, right? You're going to see tons of companies go crazy. They're going to go through the wave and then they're going to crash, right? There's going to be cannabis gum, cannabis coffee candy, cannabis this, cannabis, it's going to be crazy. So a lot of them are going to die, right? And there's going to be like one or two. So it's going to be the same or very similar thing with crypto. So be very careful, guys. Like I said, really educate yourself. Like I said, Bitcoin is very good chance it's here to stay. It's gonna have volatility. Ethereum, pretty good chances gonna be around here, right? It's because a lot of people was bought into it. A lot of very wealthy people were bought into it. So that means a lot, right? When there's a lot of money backing it, they call it liquidity. Really important. And there's no bigger source of liquidity in terms of tokens than Bitcoin and Ethereum. So those are the ones I would say. And I would say, like I said, where would you want to get those things? Coinbase or Kraken. Those are the best place I think you should get it because they'll have custody for you. Although I think Cash App does it as well, but it's just a better interface. And I would say Coinbase and Kraken, that's just what they do. And it's just a better situation in my opinion. But get something and put it in your portfolio. I think it's important, especially for our people.
Malik, this has been a great intro to Bitcoin. Yeah. Clearly,
yes,
an intro.
I hope I wasn't too crazy.
Very high level over cryptocurrency, digital assets. I mean, if we just start going into the weeds, I would have checked out. Dana would have fell asleep. Our views would have dropped down. But I think this is an important conversation to have within the Black community because we really don't have it. And we don't really have it in a manner where we can kind of really access and ask questions in a safe environment without getting persecuted or judged for not knowing. So ignorance is sometimes is bliss. For some people, but you opened the conversation on tonight because there was hesitancy, there was nervousness, there's anxiety about anything money related when you're talking to a community that's already financially challenged.
Right.
So I think it's great. I think it's great. I have some folks on here that already have invested in Bitcoin. They chimed in, they gave some good tips. And I think as a community, as a village, we need to learn to lean on each other to ask these questions. We cannot hold the information in our own little personal silo and say, well, I'm going to be rich. I don't know about y'all. Let's share the love. I think it's enough Bitcoin for everybody.
Yeah.
we talking crypto, cyber. It's enough for everybody. Malik, anything you want to say before we close it out?
No, man, I appreciate you guys having me here, man. It's I'm really honored. And this was a really great conversation. I hope, if anytime you guys want to talk about it more, there's a lot to this, man. We didn't get to talk about NFTs, there's decentralized finance, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm here to, whatever you guys need anytime, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Malik. Thanks so much, man.
you,
Hey,
thank
so
you.
I know you on the East
Thank
Coast.
you.
You're probably sleepy. It's already
There
tomorrow.
you go.
So we're gonna let you go, man. Appreciate you. We'll
Thank
get
you,
you
man.
back on here too for part 2 or 3 or 4. We don't know.
There
Yes,
you go,
sir.
man.
All
Have
right,
a good one.
man.
All right,
All
have a
right,
good
later,
one.
guys. Later.
Listen, the Bible says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. And one thing that I refuse to be is someone that does not share the knowledge to my people. So my people, hey, the Donta Show, me and Dana always sit back and talk about what can we bring next? What do people need to know more about? What's not being discussed on a more practical and relatable level,
Right.
and one of them. So I thank y'all for chiming in. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you to the village for commenting. People were adding their own,
Right.
information about Bitcoin. Dana, your question was valid. As always, but that was an important show. So Dana, you want to close out, dog? Close out.
Thank you, ladies. I know you was just waiting for me to hear my
We was having
voice
a real
again.
serious show. We was doing good.
Hey, you know what? Before we get out of here, you know what we got to do? We got to spread love.
Instead of spreading lies,
We got to spread love.
instead of spreading lies.
One more. Give me a good. Give me a Jennifer Holiday. Spread love. Hey, go over and follow me on Instagram at DNA716. Again, that's at DNA716. You can follow what I'm doing, some funny commentary, music, everything that's going on with me in a nutshell. Hey, remember to reach out to somebody in case they're doing bad or good. Just make sure you reach out to them. Even if you think they're doing well, reach out, send an email, send a text, send a card, send a letter, anything. Let someone know that you're thinking about them, because depression, suicide is real right now. Hey, this pandemic is not over. Don't get it twisted. Just because they're lifting some stuff in some areas and taking off some masks in some place, it's not over. Okay, don't get it twisted. That's what my mama used to say when we was little. Don't go outside if the sun is shining. It's still cold. It's an Indian summer. You ever heard of that? The Indian summer?
No.
No, I guess it's some down south East Coast thing.
Yeah,
but just because right after the spring, the sun, just because the sun is shining, don't think you can go out there without no jacket on. You can still get sick. So keep that mask on. All right, whatever. The country women. Shit.
Hey, y'all, make sure to follow me on Instagram, Donta_Morrison, Donta_Morrison. But don't just follow me, follow the Donta Show on YouTube, www.youtube.com/Donta Morrison. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, family, cousins, loved ones, everybody to support the Donta Show. We are a village trying to make a difference. And speaking of village, without the village, where would the Donta Show be? Oh my God, the village is with us every Monday and Tuesday. We thank y'all, we love y'all, we appreciate y'all, because together we can shift communities. Together we can shift behaviors, we can shift attitudes, we can change the energy of our own people. Together we are in this together. So I'll rock with y'all as y'all rock with me. And tomorrow night we have a phenomenal guest. We have Dr. Najuma Smith Pollard. If you know Najuma Smith, she keeps it real, keeps it 100. She is our guest on tomorrow. We're going to talk about spiritual life balance. Folks that are super saved, that they know earthly good. Then you got the ones that's too earthly and they ain't got no piece of spirituality. But she's going to come on and talk about how do we balance that all out so we can live our best life, stay connected, stay healthy, stay happy, stay energized, all that kind of good stuff. It's going to be a phenomenal Taco Tuesday. So we'll see y'all tomorrow night right here on Facebook Live, Instagram, and Facebook Live, YouTube.
You said that twice. You speaking something.
Hey, Shabbat.
It's called an Indian summer. It's called an Indian summer.
He had to get that out, y'all. It was wrong. We'll see y'all tomorrow night right here, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And listen, if you want to be a guest on the Donta Show, please check out pyromedianetwork.com. Pyromedianetwork.com. Scroll through the website and you will find the Donta Show and you will put your information in and we can get you booked. If your stuff kind of ties in what we're talking about. But looking at our lineup right now, we got some guests this month that's gonna make you be like, wow, we even got the cussing pastor coming on. Hey, he's gonna be on our show in the month of March. So we will see y'all tomorrow night right here. We love y'all. Nothing you can do about it. Stay safe, social distance, wear your mask, wash your hands, and all that jazz. Kwame, take us out.